Hello. Today we're going to talk about one of the most iconic series in cinema history, The Godfather. The Godfather Part 1 and Part 2 are not just two separate films. They feel like two halves of a single story. The narrative flows so seamlessly between these films that it's almost as if you're watching one continuous epic. There's even a special version that director Francis Ford Coppola rearranged chronologically, and it runs for about 6 to 7 hours. When discussing the film, many people prefer to call it a mafia story, but I don't agree with that. Others say it's a family film, and I don't agree with that either. In my opinion, this film is a mafia family movie. It's about why major mafias are often run by families. Before watching the movie, the idea of a mafia being run by a family seemed strange to me. Why would someone involve their family in crime? But after watching it, I understood that sometimes people can only trust their family, and only family or friends as close as family will remain loyal in every situation. First and foremost, we have to acknowledge just how impactful The Godfather is. The film immerses us in a world filled with powerful storytelling and deeply complex characters. Don Vito Corleone captivates with his unwavering loyalty to his family and his ruthless leadership in the criminal underworld. Michael Corleone, on the other hand, is a complex character who reflects the darkest aspects of human nature. His story shows how someone who was once an innocent soldier can be drawn into crime, and how the thirst for power can transform a person so drastically. The theme of family is masterfully woven throughout The Godfather. Family values are the main driving force of the film. For instance, at the beginning of the film, the family waits for Michael before taking a family photo, even though his absence could delay the event. This small detail highlights just how important family is, even in the smallest matters, demonstrating that unity is essential, no matter the potential impact on the family. We see another example of this in a later scene where Michael travels to Las Vegas to buy a casino and hotel, and his brother Fredo greets him there. When the casino owner refuses to sell, Fredo sides with the owner, prompting Michael to sternly warn his brother, never take sides against the family, ever. This scene, among others, shows how family members sometimes sacrifice for the good of the family. Another example of this is when Michael, the third son of Don Corleone, kills a man protected by other mafia leaders to bring peace to his family, forcing him to leave the country and live in hiding for nearly a year. This also reveals the awakening of a darker side within Michael, who wasn't always this way, driven by a thirst for vengeance after what happened to his father. It shows us that every person has the potential to do anything, given the right circumstances. Two other key aspects of the film are the overwhelming sense of respect and the idea that friendship comes before many other things. Let's start with friendship. This concept is vividly portrayed throughout the film, especially in how Tom Hagen, adopted by Don Corleone at a young age, is treated as part of the family and is just as involved in family matters as the biological children. Tom is depicted as a son in Don's eyes and as a true friend and brother to the other children. He's called consigliere, not just because he's a lawyer, but because of his deep involvement in the family's internal matters. He is a trusted advisor and the spokesperson for the Corleone family. Towards the end of the film, Tom's title of consigliere is taken away as a strategic move to prevent any disruption of the family's plans by opposing forces. One of the film's most striking qualities is how it captures the complexities of human nature. The Godfather delves into themes of power, betrayal, loyalty, and revenge, offering a thought-provoking experience for the viewer. The film also gives us a glimpse into the intricacies of the criminal underworld and a particular aspect of American society during that era. What sets The Godfather apart from an ordinary crime movie is its deep character studies and its invitation to engage with profound moral questions. One of the reasons this film is so significant is undoubtedly its director, Coppola. The story originally came out as a book, and after staying on the bestseller list for 64 weeks, Paramount bought the film rights and started looking for a director. A total of 12 visionless directors rejected the project, saying it would never work. Coppola was the 13th director approached. Now, you're probably expecting me to say that Coppola saw the potential in the story and accepted the offer, right? But that's not what happened. Coppola joined the bandwagon of visionless directors and said, "This story won't amount to anything," rejecting the offer. But Paramount had leverage over Coppola. He had started a film company called American Zoetrope, and his first film with the company failed, leading to its collapse. As a result, Coppola owed Paramount a lot of money. So, they approached him again to direct the film. And again, Coppola turned it down. This time, his family and friends convinced him, saying, "Directing this film is the smartest move you can make. You won't be able to pay off your debt any other way." In the end, even though Coppola didn't want to, he had to direct the film and committed to doing it the best he could. He eventually cast Al Pacino as Michael, which didn't sit well with the studio. They thought Pacino was too inexperienced and too short. They wanted to fire him, but Coppola believed the role was meant for Pacino. While the studio and Coppola were negotiating, Coppola made a strategic move. He pushed forward the filming of the scene where Pacino's character kills two men during a meal and showed it to the studio. After seeing that scene, the studio was convinced, and the filming continued with Pacino. I shared this story to show how a director can launch an actor's career. You can see that after this film, Al Pacino started to become famous. For example, he earned $20,000 for the first Godfather movie, but $600,000 for the second one. In short, one of the things that made this movie legendary was that it introduced a legendary actor to the industry. Another remarkable aspect of the film is its sound design. Take the scene where Michael retrieves a gun from behind a toilet. If you listen closely, you'll hear a distant train sound. This sound is meant to simulate a heartbeat, capturing the tension Michael feels as he prepares to kill for the first time. It's a brilliant example of the film's incredible sound design. Speaking of sound, we can't forget to mention the movie's iconic music. How much emotion can a piece of music convey without a single word? How closely can it match the intended feelings? Even after half a century, it's still one of the first tunes that come to mind when you think of film music, which speaks volumes about its quality. One of the things that makes a film legendary is its impact on real life, setting standards and raising the bar. This is true for The Godfather as well. After the film's release, Mafia activity, especially in New York, increased significantly. In fact, between 1975 and 1990, many district attorney candidates ran on platforms promising to eradicate the Mafia, blaming The Godfather for the rise in crime. This is just one example of the film's real-world impact. As for its influence on the industry, the movie essentially set the standard for Mafia films and even TV shows. Let's talk about cinematography. The movie's stunning visuals are thanks to two people: the film's cinematographer, Gordon Willis, and its director, Coppola. Willis believed that since the story had a dark tone, each scene should be lit accordingly. Coppola agreed and asked him to design the scenes in that manner. However, the studio wanted the film to be brighter, so it could be shown in outdoor theaters. But Coppola resisted, saying, "I'm not going to make a bad film just so a few more people can watch it outdoors," and threatened to quit. The studio responded by saying, "You can't quit because we're firing you." But then Marlon Brando stepped in and said, "If the director goes, I go," forcing the studio to agree to the darker cinematography. Had the studio won that battle and the film ended up being bright and colorful, it likely wouldn't have made such an impact. At the heart of the Godfather series is the transformation of Michael Corleone. He starts as a war hero returning home, but eventually becomes a ruthless Don. Especially in the second film, the differences between Michael and his father, Vito Corleone, are crystal clear. Vito represents Sicilian culture and family, while Michael symbolizes the cold, individualistic nature of modern America. The first two films mirror each other in many ways. Vito's rise to power parallels Michael's. But while Vito's story is warm and full of strong family ties, Michael's path is darker and lonelier. By the end of The Godfather Part 2, Ford Coppola makes it clear how much Michael has changed and how much he's lost. In conclusion, the Godfather series remains one of the greatest achievements in cinema history. Its exploration of power, family, and the American dream is unmatched, and its impact on the film industry is still felt today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. See you in the next video.